Hello, everybody, and welcome to Oh Baby a Triple, the TV show turned radio show turned podcast turned live stream. I am your host, Corey McCrae, and this week we're talking about something very important. But before we get into it, we'll talk about who our other hosts are.
Hello, I'm yawning, but
Hi,
my name
yawning.
is Ryan.
I am.
That was my birth given name is Yawning.
My name's Mitch, and can I get an ow?
Ow, ow.
Fuck yeah.
Thank you again, Mitch, for joining us this week.
Of course,
Always
thank
a
you for having me.
Pleasure to have you here.
Yeah. Thought we need a nice little beanie gang. You know, have all the beanies going on, little t-shirt,
Beanie Bros.
little.
Yeah, you guys like my cosplay?
Yeah, it's good.
It's my novelist cosplay.
your novelist cosplay.
Shitty.
Well, who's the novelist from? Corey.
Well, I'm glad you asked. Novelist is from the show we're about to discuss today, which is Jammies.
Wowie. Fuck.
Absolutely wowie. Jammies is a pro. Oh, who created it? Because I know right now it's on like Toon Media, but I can't remember who created it. But Jammies was created by like a group and then put on Netflix, which is how we were introduced to it. A night where we decided to watch any random show on Netflix.
It was created by Alessandro novelist Hamilton.
Yeah.
And William Dalla Chapman too.
So wait, it's a self-insert
Yeah, self-inserts.
show?
Yes, they have literally themselves in the show. The creators of the show are in the show as actual characters.
Funny enough, they're
So,
twins.
The twins?
I did not know that. They're tweens.
Well,
they're
they're
adults
adults in real life, but the characters.
they're adults. Yeah, they're not.
Really?
They're not tweens in real life. Yeah.
I got the feeling that these guys are all like elementary schoolers.
Yeah, that's what I
When I
thought
watched
too.
the show.
Funny enough, they're in middle school, which they never mentioned.
Yeah, they did.
Also, it's a performing arts school. Like it's a specified
Performance.
Damn.
what is it?
This is lore.
This personal ass school, which is probably why Momo can go there because her fucking family's rich.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right. Her
And she
family's-
knows how to play the cello.
Yeah. Obviously, spoilers.
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 Spoilers for all,
If anybody
all
wanna
5
watch this,
episodes.
Well,
of
we talk
Jammies.
about big Jammies spoilers here, so be careful, guys.
It's no holds barred. Oh baby, a triple.
Yeah.
At first, I was reading the Wikipedia on Jammies, and I thought it said this series is Emmy nominated, but it's directed by Emmy nominated director.
Oh.
And I
You know
was
that
like,
Emmy is
Oh man,
the Emmy's really showing there.
Yeah.
It's really pronounced through this show.
I mean, this show should have been Emmy nominated. I'm really upset it didn't get Emmy nominated. It's one of my favorite, probably one of the best children's programming television shows I've ever seen.
For sure. It has
tween
so much.
television programming.
Yeah, tweet.
Geek.
I mean,
Is it
tweens are
tween?
children though. I still consider
Yeah.
myself a child, and I'm 25.
It's true.
I'm still a baby.
Yeah,
In the
we're
world.
all kids at heart here.
I think we should talk about how we came about Jammies and how it changed our lives forever.
That's a good one.
Which is we were sitting down in my college apartment, my apartment, mine, Joe's and Harry's from college, and I don't know if Mitch did it, but we were like scrolling through Netflix and someone was like, "We're watching this show." No, not knowing anything about it, just Jammies, and I think we all went like, "Oh, Jammies," and someone started playing it, and we just never stopped the show. No one ever thought to stop it. It was just episode 1 happened, and we were all like, "What the fuck? This show is what? This show's trash, but in like an amazing way." And then episode 2 happened, and we just kind of let it keep going for 5 episodes.
Luckily, it was only 5 episodes, and
Yeah.
then it was over.
Yeah, that's true. Only
It
like
was
an hour and
supposed
20
to have.
minutes.
It was supposed to have 13 because Wikipedia says 13, but there's only 5 episodes that have been released. I want the full cut of the Jammies, all season 1. And it even says that there's supposed to be a season 2. I want a petition now. That we did a petition last week for season 2 of Age of Resistance. I want a season 2 of the Jammies.
Hashtag Jammies season 2. Let's
Absolutely.
make it happen.
I'm calling for Novelist and Dala to get on this right now as much as they can.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? They probably want to. It's just money.
Probably. You could tell they had 0 budget for this whole show. Because,
Yeah.
Well,
sorry, I just have one quick example of like how the budget is like, you could tell that they didn't have much money.
Yeah.
You could literally look at all of the people in crowd shots, and they all just look fucked up, or they look like there's scant. Like there's like 2 people in the crowd, but they have like a large audience sounding crowd
Here, wait,
cheering,
I can,
and then they also dance very like wooden and stiff, and they have like all the same faces kind of copied and pasted on males and females.
just poor
it's
video
kinda
game
scary.
background audience.
Yeah, but
0 budget. I think.
yeah.
I think what I remember most was Mitch, your like reaction in the first episode.
Yeah.
I was looking for
I
the
guess
video
they-
and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it in time because I think Kayla posted the video somewhere in a group chat and I was looking for it because it's like the Snapchat of you and I was like, I can't find this video of you reacting.
Yes, this show, initially, and still to this day, has broken me so much to the point where someone just says, that they're check for balling, and I just.
Right down there at the bottom of the screen is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
check.
Yeah, that's the thing that broke me. Is that the fucking thing, the fucking check is not fucking valid. There's not balling's out of. So anyway, sorry. If I get caught up with it, I just fucking break down. I just go into a fit of laughter just from this fact of just like the idea of it. And to go back on it, the thing that I remember what caught or what made us or get to the search result of the Jammies.
Mhm.
I typed in my name. I typed in Mitchell Patty, and for some reason, the Jammies was the only thing that popped up. Nothing else, just the Jammies.
It was destined to be.
It was Dustin. It called out to me. It was like, this is the show that is needed for us to watch and to have as an inside joke among this friend group.
Among Us.
Among us,
Among
yeah.
Us. My favorite bit about the clip, though, I wanted to show was like, it's like Kayla zooming in on Mitch, who's on like Snapchat, who you're like dying in your chair, and then you get up and you're like, just like quiet for a second, and you're like, will it bounce? And then the video fucking cuts.
Will it bounce?
Will it bounce? What the fuck? Oh, okay.
Like, will the check bounce?
Will the check? Yeah, will the check bounce? Like, will it fucking? I had like a half thought of like, because that was like when.
Beautiful. It was a beautiful delivery on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's
Yeah,
a lot to
very
know.
much like that show. There's just countless things that just don't add up or like don't make sense. And it's just like an unruly like mess of like
Mm-hmm.
who knows what wonders
Yeah.
went on through their heads, through the novelist and Dala's head, being like, yeah, this is the kid show, all right. This is good shit.
It's like now that you say they're tweens in the show, because I always thought they were like elementary school kids,
Like
and
school-
like this
yeah.
is the like the
Yeah.
backyardigans do these fantastic things that kids don't do. So I was thinking,
Yeah.
oh, these are like The same thing. They've got like a little group band, and this is like what the kids think they look like when they perform. But you're telling me now that no, they're actually like.
Yeah, they're.
Well, I mean, one of them does get no relationship in one of the
Oh,
episodes.
that's true.
It's true.
One
Oh,
of them goes
that's.
out on dates and things like that.
I forgot that's
What did you say?
One of them goes on a date.
Oh.
So, like,
What
it makes
do you
sense
think?
that tweens go on dates.
Tweens do.
Elementary
nowadays.
school
You're
kids
right.
don't.
It's just
That's
true.
They're not going to abandon their homies for another girl. That's a very tween thing.
Yeah. That's why you make a synthetic version of yourself as a robot
Yes.
to then go to Alaska because you fucked up. You fucked up because you thought you wanted a relationship over the homies.
Yep. And you get
That
chased by a
episode
polar
goes
bear.
in a lot of places.
Yeah,
So
it was the grand
So
finale.
the robot takes the so like the episode. This is I think the
Well,
last episode.
I
of the
think
show,
before let's do a quick recount of like episode 1 to 5.
That's
yeah.
a great
so that we
idea.
can ramp up to the last episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little foreshadowing.
Yeah.
So episode 1 is pretty much that they are going to be taking part in a competition
Yeah.
of some sorts of either singing and dancing variety.
Yeah.
And then there's a kid that wants to join their club. His name is JJ something. What
Motor
is it?
City J.
What is it?
Motor City J.
Yeah.
Motor City J.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Motor City J wants to join the crew, the Jammies, and he sucks. He's bad at dancing, he's bad at singing, he's bad at everything. But it comes to find out the one thing he's also bad at is owning a home because he's homeless.
Yeah.
He, so so then what they do is that the Jammies win the competition to give the cash check of Ballin.
The ball and
To
cash
the
check.
homeless cash check of Ballin to a homeless kid to give it to his family so that they could have money,
Yeah.
and then he can buy a house and everything.
Yeah.
And that's the first episode.
Well, and I should probably say the Jammies are a group of 5 people. The Jammies
Yeah.
is the name of the group of 5 people. We got Dala. We
Dala.
got novelist. It's just Dala, right? Dala,
yeah,
novelist.
Dala, novelist,
7.
Lala, 7.
Well, we got hold on. We got too many. We
Uh,
got Dala,
sorry.
Dala, novelist, 7, Lala, and Momo. And we find out Momo has another name later, but we'll get to that.
Yeah,
We'll get to that. And then Motor City J wants to join the Jammies.
Never happens.
Never happens.
Motor
Well, the
City-
problem is when they do the competition, they announce to the whole school that Motor City J is homeless, which is
Homeless. Yeah.
pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Pretty shitty.
Yeah. Also, they like how to deal with the principal. Like they like the principal. Like it was going to charity,
Yeah.
but the principal wanted 20% of the charity
Yeah.
money. So there's like homeless kid and his mom squatting in a fucking mall.
I can't. And at first he was like 50-50. Like I get 50% of this check, and the homeless guy gets the other 50.
But yeah, you know, wants a fair deal. But I guess if you I guess you stack the card on the house of cards he was building. You cut the deal.
I don't know.
I think. But then Motor City J came the fuck in and was like, where's my jammies? And fucked up the thing. But I don't know. I think the writing's on like a higher tier of like existence that we're just not ready to understand yet.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, then Motor City J
And then
gets
see-
hella rich.
And then just dies.
Yeah, we don't see him ever again.
We don't
Yeah.
see him again. He
Motor
just is
City J,
fucking
for all I
gone.
know, is just like he's gone.
He's
He
just
got-
gone.
But they're in limbo. I think we have a theory that they're in limbo.
I feel well.
Don't worry, that's for later. That's for
yeah,
I-
post show
I-
topics.
look enough. Within the
Okay.
couple days, I've written a theory, and I have full proof of what happens
Okay.
for the series.
I'm excited.
Okay.
It goes deeper than just these episodes. But
Okay.
then episode two happens, right? Where
Right.
fuck, what is it?
Episode 2
Oh,
is
310. They
yeah. Episode 2 is the was it numbers?
where they Yeah, it was 3:10 because that's the end of the school day. But they were making fun of the fucking episode, or not the episode,
24.
but the
Yeah,
24, the
24.
TV show series 24.
with Jim
Yeah,
Carrey.
And it was just like this whole
Every kid loves a good 24 reference.
Yeah, every tween in 2011, 12.
Yeah. Loved the show 24. Always watched it. I mean, I watched it, but I was in high school by that point, so you know.
But Ryan,
I mean,
the joke
hey,
is
the-
for the
the fun-
parents who love to watch the Jammies with their kids.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the adult joke for the adults to be like, I get it, 24. And then the kids are like,
yeah.
goo goo gaga. You know, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So, was it Dala that was getting bullied, or was it? Which one was it?
In the
Novelist?
beginning of the episode, Dala was the
It
one
was
that
the-
got dirt on. It's like Humphrey or something. I can't remember his name. Horace. Dala got dirt on Horace's shoes when he stopped his bike too hard, and Horace was like, I'm gonna beat your ass. And Dala's like, and Horace is like 2 feet tall. He's like super short. And Dala's like, yo man, like what's the problem? Come on. And then Novelist said something to like really get on Horace's nerves. And Horace is like, Dala, you're off the hook. But Novelist is on the hook. And that's how it's Novelist who gets bullied.
Okay.
And then he becomes the Incredible Hulk, or the Incredible Horse in this case.
The Incredible Horrors. I have to say,
yeah.
like, before that scene, the part that broke me was not only did the check for Ballin, but it was this scene in particular in episode 2 when they're riding bikes together. Perspective changes so many times.
Yeah.
Like, the best is when there's like this big circular tube that they ride through.
Mm-hmm.
So at first you're like, that's too small, they're not gonna fit.
Yeah.
But then
It's like
they're
a
small
concrete
enough to fit in
construction
it.
tube.
And then it shows an inside shot, and it's fucking humongous inside, and you're like, "What? Wait, hold on. What is this thing bigger than it is?" And then they come out, and then you see it outside, and it's small again, and you're like,
Yeah.
The perspective of this thing changed like 3 times. It reminded me of Cats 2019.
It's just
But I hadn't seen Cats 2019 by that point, but now I have, and that stuff happened in that movie too, and it bothered me when I was in college. I was like, why did the perspective change so much? Why were they small and then big and then small and then big? Fuck, I hated it. So that part made me fucked up really bad, and then I got really depressed, and I think I drank a little more.
Well, I do remember by about halfway through episode 2, I was drunk when we first watched it.
Yeah.
About halfway through episode 2 is when it was hitting me, and I started to stop intaking any of it.
Fair.
Which is funny because I watched this one. We rewatched it a couple days ago. I watched this one completely sober, and I was like discovering hidden treasure I've forgotten about.
Through your mental blocking of alcohol and hazy like
Through my
the
brown
hazy
out.
memories, you were like, "Oh, that's what that was."
Yeah.
Now it's starting to come together.
It's starting to come
But
together.
did it really come together?
No. But I think at the end of through episode 2, we find Novelist trying to figure out creative ways of getting around his bully in just a kind of a shittily created montage where the break between each small scene is just numbers that ends in the punchline 310.
Speaking of,
Yeah. I mean,
adult-
I was going to say, like, he does drag, he does yoga, he finds a bunch of nerds and lives in the basement, and then he tries punching a punching bag, and Horace always shows
nurse's
up
office?
and says, the busty nurse.
that's what I'm
Fucking
saying.
hot-ass nurse.
For the adults, I guess, who's watching the Jammies
Yeah.
along with the kids,
If
you
you
know,
want to beat,
something for them.
Don't say
if you want to, I was gonna say they're all gonna be beating their fucking dick. What? Looking at the busty nurse, watching it with their kids.
That's exactly what I didn't want you to say.
No,
Okay.
it's horrible.
Okay.
That's so bad.
So yeah, And then Horace comes
Over
in and
here,
he's like,
baby.
"That the temperature doesn't look right. It's 310." And that joke doesn't make any sense, but it ends the scene.
It just keeps on giving.
Wow,
It's the
it was
310 that
so
keeps on
funny the
coming.
first time. I forgot to laugh all of the 17 other times.
I was
they
too
did
busy
that
laughing
joke.
about the first one. I didn't even intake any of the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just like, can't you believe how good of this joke this was? You know, how just beautiful.
You know, they crafted
Pinnacle of
some
comedy.
fine art and they wanted to roll with it. They couldn't top that. Let's be honest, they never were gonna top the 310 joke.
No.
Ever.
Nothing in the show
Like,
tops the 310.
It might be the funniest thing in comedy is the 310 joke
Yeah.
from the Jammies.
Yeah.
That is comedy
It's
gold.
permeated all media.
Yeah. I think
The
it's
ones on the fuck, what's the comedian version of the Grammys?
The blue
what?
blue genies.
The Houginis, yeah, it's
Blue
the
Genies.
Houginis. it's Hougini nominated for sure.
Wow.
2021. It's like
I want to go to the 420 awards.
it's this year's Citizen Kane.
It's this year's Citizen Kane every year.
Every year.
Derek Savage from Cool Cat does an award ceremony called the 420 Awards. So we gotta contact former
Dude.
porn star / stripper Derek Savage, who
Yeah.
now does children's education videos for Cool Cat. We gotta contact him and say the Jammies needs to be nominated for best
Cool Cat loves the
original
kids.
series.
See, that's how they get the season 2. They get Derek in there. They get Derek along
Hey,
with
Derek.
Yes.
with Dala and Novelist to really amp up the potential of this kid show. You know, have Cool Cat in there.
Yeah.
He's just a character. You know, everyone loves like one of those like zany characters that kind of like, you know, after the first couple seasons, you know, the main cast loses their touch. They need a little spiciness.
Yeah.
That's why Cool Cat's there.
Yeah.
The kids love Cool Cat, and Cool Cat loves the kids.
But yeah, I remember how Novelist went into the fucking nerd sewer.
Yep. Nerd
And then
sewer.
And then went back up somehow, and then
He just left.
after they
Yeah, he
After-
opened the door, and then that's where the bully was. But then that was the joke. But I think he just like left regularly. Then.
Yeah.
but like Horus had like but he's all like Horus as like a deity at that point, like he was a fucking like
Yeah.
demigod, and then it just cuts, to him being like, "Yo, there's some fucking nerds in the goddamn sewer." Fucking, could you believe that shit? Bunch of little babies.
Yeah.
Even though he was like in there with them, he was just
Yeah.
shitting on these people. You know, he was like, they give him like hospitality and shit. And you're like, don't worry, you're like, you know, we eat garbage and shit, but we got a shit bucket I think under the bed. So don't worry about that. That's okay.
Oh my god!
And then he's just like, stinky nerd babies.
I couldn't. I literally forgot that they actually eat garbage. Like
Yeah.
they like stand over by like where the kids dump their food into a garbage can. And it goes down a chute of all their half-eaten food, and it falls on a conveyor belt, and they pick and choose the food that they eat.
Now I
And he
want to
found
talk.
like part of a partially eaten apple, and he ate it.
I want to talk about.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the physics.
Yeah.
I should expect if that were real, right? Because
Yeah.
we're
Right.
talking about food that, assumedly, falls one story at least. Now, if we're assuming that the lunchroom is up a floor and it falls down a chute, which appears to come straight down and then like angle a little bit, I would assume we would get fucking like lasagna, just goddamn just slapping everywhere, just hitting this conveyor belt and slapping everywhere. And then I also want to talk about the disposition that some middle schoolers might have to just fill their entire plate with chocolate milk and mashed potatoes. And make like a soup on their lunchroom plate, and then proceed to dump that down the chute. We would expect to see chocolate milk and liquid material everywhere.
I could just imagine just like they just hear the rumbling. It's like the feast has begun, and like 5 of these like fucking kids are just eating like
Everybody,
chocolate
the
milk.
lunchroom rush.
It's like, Come, come before it gets it empties once again. And then episode 3 happens.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
we
wait, they
failed
had
to mention
No.
the importance of the jetpack and the racist Asian
Oh, right.
stereotypes in this whole show.
Yeah,
And
that's
also
when it
the
came
fact that they end up doing a rap battle at the end of episode 2.
Yeah.
That's how they fight. As a rap
This
battle
is just
instead of a
this is all one episode too.
Yeah.
Just what they didn't need any more episodes because it's all quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Just 5. Every episode feels like 3.
Yeah.
3 episodes in one.
Yeah. So like the guy who builds the jetpack is obviously Chinese and has a terrible accent. And I just know they couldn't get anyone Asian to do the role, so they just faked it with like a really stereotypical, like fast speaking, whiny sounding Chinese accent.
Yeah.
And it was just bleh.
It was that was not their best suit. That was not
Not their
what
best
should
direction.
be a
When I first watched this, I was like, "Oh my god, is that just some guy just pretending to be Asian?" And I'm like, "Oh no, don't do the Jammies, no!" And I got really upset. I was like, "Come on, it's about inclusivity. Why is this happening? why we gotta give the Asian kid a very stereotypical, really really rough Asian accent that is clearly not done by an Asian person?
Yeah.
It's
No.
definitely just done by a guy that's just like their friend doing it.
Yeah. It was bad.
but you think with like how the Jammies is like an inclusive cast of like different characters from different like races and stuff, like you would think they would be like maybe not this, maybe actually take a step back,
Yeah.
I haven't
Do-
looked
do a
up.
little
I haven't
recap.
looked up who worked on the show completely, but I'm going to assume that it's a show about inclusivity that's not made by a very diverse, like group of producers and directors. Like
Yeah.
the production might not have been super diverse.
Possibly not. I mean, it's a little bit hard to find who made the show or like anything else about it besides just like what you see from the videos.
Hold on. I'm getting in chat. Mark's saying there's over 100 episodes of this show. We only see 5 on any streaming service, and then Wikipedia, to Brian's knowledge, says there's 13 episodes in total.
Yeah.
But
If there's over 100,
over 100.
I gotta get that link, dude.
It's Mark, can you send it in the chat?
Can you send us those
If you
links,
can.
buddy?
I think I found the Jammies actual official website.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah,
I
no,
fucking
you-
sure did.
While we're doing this, let's talk.
Find
Episode 2 wraps
Keep
up with the
going,
rap
keep
battle.
Yeah.
Rap battle, they
Novelist wins.
where we feel like Novice wins, but they're like, oh, they're just too equal. But we're like, nah,
Yeah, I know.
we know.
Novelist
We all
wins.
know the answer.
Novelist
We all know the truth.
And then
we all know what's
episode,
up.
what was episode 3?
Episode 3's is when is the cello. It just says cello.
That's right. That's right.
It's when we figure out Momo's dark, seedy past, and how she isn't how she perceives to be.
The following events do not occur in real
And-
time,
The fact is,
but
the fact of the matter
they are real
is,
funny. Holla.
is that there was starting off, I guess, just them hanging out. Momo's just distracted,
Mhm.
and everyone's like, "Hey, isn't your house right there?" And she's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah."
And I thought it was, honestly, when I first started watching it, I thought, oh, this episode's going to be about drugs, because she's just completely out of it. She's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, which is like on point with how kid shows are. They talk about topic or issues like delving into like that age group and stuff, and
Yeah.
but no, this takes a turn. This takes a turn for what you didn't think, which was how Momo was rich. Momo just came from a rich family.
Mom was rich as fuck, dude.
Yeah, Momo was rich as fuck. She was missing practice. She was like, she was caught up in. They finally go to the house they were pointing out to in the beginning. They knock on it, or no, Seven like sang to it, and they're like, "Why not knock on the door?"
Yeah.
Like,
As he does frequently in just a terrible string of runs, where he's like, "Oh, open." It's like,
yeah. He finally just knocked on the door. He went for like a light tap to then just it's like this shit. and I guess then he literally brought the house down.
yeah.
And causing the I guess decoy of a house to knock over, which was just like a front of it and just two big logs.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What the fuck?"
Which
And
is
so
like,
then
have you guys not ever seen this house from a perspective that isn't directly in front of it? Have you not like look? Because it was like a Buster Keaton style, just boop, but
Yeah.
without the back of the house. It was just the one front of the house, just that single piece of wood that just falls backwards.
yeah, and, like you could just like if you walked like a couple steps to the left or right, you could just easily just. Anyways,
Oh, there's no house.
there's no house. There's maybe they're just like. I was gonna say they have lizard vision, but I feel like lizards have better peripherals. You know what I mean?
Probably,
Like probably. What I'm trying to say is they're narrow sighted. They can't see like past like here. So that's probably like why they probably can't see like the rest of that house.
Yeah.
But they I guess stalk their friend, seeing where she actually is ending up, and she like has to take a boat to then take like a limousine to then.
Yeah, she has to like secretly hide how she gets to her house.
Yeah, like, how she's rich in like this really weird like extra way to get to her fucking place, and then they all show up and they're like, "Oh, you're rich? Oh, whoa." And then the butler was like, "Oh, these are employees. These are people hiring people looking for a job. These 12 to 13-year-olds
Employees
are looking for a job. No application, no like social security, just on the spot." And then they go back and forth like, "Oh, you're not middle class or poor?" They're like, "Yeah, fuck it, whatever." And like, what's next? Like, your name's not Momo. It's like fucking. Is it
like
Vivi or
Vivian?
some shit? Vivian, yeah, it's
No,
Vivian.
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 It's Vivian.
Yeah.
And so then the butler just roasted him with deodorant and toothpaste.
Covington.
And then Covington roasted him with
Yeah, like I got refreshments for you. Here's toothpaste and mouthwash, you filthy scoundrels.
yeah. You
You
fucking
boys. You terribly filthy children.
oh so stinky.
God.
I think we
And
should
then-
also talk about the importance of Covington.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Covington.
Covington is played by James Avery, who plays his Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Not only is this like a pivotal role in his filmography, but it is the last thing he ever did before he died.
Let's all have a moment of silence for James Avery, everybody.
Yeah, James Avery was really cool.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the moment.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you, James.
Rest in
Thank you,
peace.
James Avery.
Thank you, James Avery.
We
Really went
appreciate
out
all he
bang.
did. He went all out for this role, guys.
That
Yeah.
was to think. It was like the last thing he ever did, and then he died. The Jammies killed James Avery. I feel so
you-
sad.
If you go to
Yeah.
IMDb, it says like top credit is like Covington.
They,
From to
I
Jammies.
think Covington.
the Jammies like creators like on their YouTube page did a tribute to James Avery.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, shit.
really funny. Like the Jammies YouTube page is like really something.
Oh, I mean, like from Mark was saying, he was saying like, oh, I was wrong. It's not 100 episodes. It's just titled wrong. Where it's like instead of episode 102, it's actually season 1, episode 2.
Yeah, how they do that. I hate when
Yeah.
shows do that.
Which
It messes me
it
up
feels
really bad.
it feels on brand. It feels on
It
brand for
feels-
the Jammies though.
Faking that
Very
they've got 100. It's like when you make like your first invoice and you number it like 101 instead of invoice one, so it looks like you've had so many invoices before.
Yep.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, I've done a lot. I've done a lot of episodes, or I've done a lot of invoices. You know, it's like it's not my first rodeo.
How I have to count out how many episodes of Oh Baby a Triple we're at right now, because it's
We're
getting
at
close to
512.
I think it's getting close to 50.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
Oh,
are we
hell yeah,
really
episode
almost at
50.
50? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So James Avery roasts these children's breath and then puts
Mm-hmm.
them to work by just instead of just being friends and hanging out at their house. No,
Oh,
you're
No, no, no.
see. Do you know?
Well,
I'm gonna be honest.
Momo said they were her servants.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Momo,
Which
Momo
is
was
really,
they were gonna say we're Momo's friends, but Momo's like they're my servants. Like,
which is also
because I'm
super
rich
yikes
and I don't hang
because-
out with poor people.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
it's super yikes because she's white, and then they're all like, like
She's
Kids of-
very
of-
white. She's white with
of
and
different
then does her
races.
hair with cornrows.
yeah.
Or
And
not
then
cornrows,
she
but
she says that that pretty much all the black and Hispanic kids that she hangs out with are
Yeah.
servants, and then then they put him to work, and I'm like serving for the white person, and I'm like, oh god, this is really yikes too. I was like realizing how fucking awful and yikes the Jammies can be
the
sometimes.
Jammies is real. The Jammies is real, and it talks about
talks
the
about-
real problems.
They do.
Yeah.
It says it on their Wikipedia that they talk about real issues
Real-
like
real issues.
homelessness, obesity.
They don't tackle
literally.
obesity directly.
Yeah,
they
no,
just
no,
have
just have
fat
a character.
characters.
They just make fat jokes all the fucking time.
Yeah, Seven just talks about how he wants to eat all the time, and then was it Clement or who's the janitor?
Oh, Clondell.
Clondell is like just very fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that the underlying premise of the show is unity and doing it together. What does that even mean?
Yeah.
Doing it together.
Doing it together.
Doing it together.
You know.
Doing
Oh,
it
but
together.
and you think this is like a
Doing
pretty
you.
dated show.
Do it
Together.
together.
This is only 2015. It's only been 6 years.
It's only been six.
it's
They
only
didn't know at this point yet that what they were doing was horrible.
Yeah,
They didn't
Oh,
it's
really
dated. It's
understand.
dated. You have to think about what the time period was when they made it.
True, that's so true.
20
They were still making
2015.
movies like The Help at that time, you know?
Right.
Of course. And so then Momo at that point, or I guess Vivian as her real name, played the cello, but played the cello like a electric guitar,
Yeah.
and then like rose
Yes.
pedals.
Well, I think an important bit is that she was supposed to record a music video on Saturday with the Jammies. The Jammies all have
Ah,
to
that's what it was,
practice
yeah.
for this music video. But we've come to find that she plays she plays the cello, but the sound is an electric cello when she plays it, but it's an acoustic cello. Anyways,
It
she
sounds
plays
terrible
she plays
as well.
she plays the cello and makes it sound like an electric cello, which is fantastic. If anyone could do that, that's amazing.
Yep.
But she has her concert she has to do for rich people. Her parents have her performing on stage for a bunch of rich people at the same time. So it's like, oh no. She's got to do the music video with the Jammies or the stage concert. She can't pick both, and she has to pick her friends or her music and rich life. Which does she love more?
Yeah, and then
It's a rich life. Just kidding. It's her
I
friend.
remember, I remember they had a music video with D Petty.
D Pity. That's
D.
later.
Yeah.
Though. That's later.
That's
That's the next
that's
episode.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that is next episode.
and so then then they just I think they just fucking dipped. I think they were just like fuck you, and then
Yeah,
just
they were like, "Fuck you, Momo. We're off."
yeah, and then I can't remember the rest of it, and then they just came back. I guess.
Yeah, they like left, and then I think they were like, guys, we need to be there for
Well,
her.
they auditioned
I know
a new
she
Momo.
is our friend still. Huh?
Oh
They
right,
auditioned for a new Momo.
Right.
Oh, God, I forgot
And
about
then-
this.
and and then it gets back to Big City again.
Yeah, well, they auditioned for Momo, and then they had some people come in. They had like girls that came in who were like hot, but then there was like something about them that made them not hot all of a sudden. Like one girl was thick, but then it turns out she had bad teeth, so they hated her.
Yeah.
And then another girl came in like super hot, but I think she had a bad voice or something.
Yeah, and I remember that like they were roasting them like when they were still in the fucking treehouse. Like they could fucking.
Oh yeah, she
like,
was like walking out, and she's like, "Yo, her teeth are disgusting, man," and she's like clearly still walking out of the room.
Like, what the fuck? And then
Jesus,
then
Koller.
that's what. And then like well, I was like, I'm gonna go support Momo or some shit, and they're like, oh okay, I guess we're all doing the same, except for Dollar. I think he was like having a monologue, and then there's just that bit where they all left by that point.
Yeah.
And then they try to sneak in by having Seven chewing a big wad of gum, and I guess that made him have the ability to fight.
Oh yeah,
But then
yeah.
this-
He blows up a balloon of like the gum, and Seven, for some reason, the biggest character in the show physically, and he's able to be lifted off the ground by bubble gum,
Yeah.
which is insane. I don't know how that must be some pretty strong bubble gum then, I guess, and is able to lift his whole body over the fence and then bring him on the other side. But didn't he get caught by like security or something like that?
That was
Yes,
earlier.
they
That
were
was
in,
when
like, a
first looking for
helicopter.
Momo.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah. It was
early
like
in
a
the episode. But they
he was
just, I
shot down
think
by
in this one,
by an Apache helicopter.
yeah. Yeah.
And then he died.
I think later in the episode when they go back to the house, I think they're just there. They're just sneaking out of the property. I don't think there's any like heist that they do. But they discovered Dala's already there.
Yeah, that was like.
He was like last week in the
Dala-
treehouse,
Right.
and then he was like first there already working, and he's like, I thought about it, and I realized I was wrong.
But like, how did he? Because like everyone else was doing the same thing, and then but like, anyways, so, they go meet Momo or whatever the fuck, and like Momo's like, "What are you guys doing here? What the fuck? This is fucked up. This is fucked up, guys." well, obviously via Momo saying that her friends were servants, but still,
Yeah.
she had to like perform for like not just like local millionaire, billionaire, 1% people, but like globally,
Yeah,
like a bunch of people coming
Yeah.
from like different parts of the world
like
to hear her play the
rulers
cello.
from other nations. It looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just I don't know what's so funny is I can only imagine it because like it was whatchamacallit, Momo going, guys, what the fuck? I can't believe you. Seven's just like, hey man, but don't you want this weenie in a blinky?
Oh yeah, the
Pretty
weenie.
good.
Oh, the
And
pig in
that's
a
all he
blanket,
said,
yeah.
And that's all I could think about is just Seven going, want a weenie in a blinky?
And then she thought about it. She's like, yeah, I want that weenie in a blankie.
Yeah,
He's like, yeah, I want
Yeah.
your weenie in a blinky.
yeah. And then she got on stage.
and then played the
She played.
cello. But then
It
But
sounded
then-
like shit.
Yeah,
then it had like a hip hop like rap mix to it, and then
Yes.
the Jammies just comes on the stage.
well, she
And
started
they're
singing
weird-
the Jammies theme. Which
Yeah.
is the, like, if
Oh.
I
Oh,
could
that's
change
what it
the
was.
world, I would pay that back. I don't
Yep.
know, I can't hear the lyrics every time I try to listen to it. And so like, but I could see, but I could do, I would change the world. And then the Jammies come on behind her, and they're just like,
Yeah,
we're like, let's do a choreography behind her.
Yeah,
And they all know it perfectly.
and they all know. And then like they all got like it felt like the animators just copied and paste like the same fucking like model, and then that was it. And it was just kind of like a Children of the Corn, like Silicon Valley kind of shit going on.
Yeah.
And that everyone cheered for some reason. Everyone was just like,
It was perfect.
it's good. I'm glad I paid so much money. I flew out from like fucking goddamn Denmark
Yeah.
to fucking get here.
To hear a shitty
No, but
electric cello solo. Which actually,
Listen.
probably the solo by itself is cool. Whoever they hired to do it probably did a great job. It's just the way it's in the show is so
It
bad.
sounded rough.
And the way they
It's,
mixed it with the song just doesn't work.
No.
Yeah, that too. That was why I didn't like it, because it just sound bad mixed together. Like the hip hop and that electric cholo.
Electric
The electric
cholo.
cello.
Oh!
That's not what I meant to say. Anyways, the electric cello sounded fucking horrible mixed together with it. It was so bad. Like, it did not mix at all. And it was just this fucking nightmare mess of just noise. I literally remember just being like, this doesn't blend well at all. It just sounds like fucking aggressive noise. And I was like just dying on the inside. I was like, I just want this to be over. At this point, this is when I think I gave up wholeheartedly on the show. Was by mostly well,
By the end of
I think
episode 3.
episode 3 was the one that killed me. But I definitely know that also the second episode was like really hitting it close because I fucking hated that repetitive 310 joke. That wouldn't fucking drain
the
my
classic.
soul.
310.
So I was drained by episode 2, but by episode 3, I think this is when I fully was like, oh my god, I have 2 more episodes. And by this point, this is when like I think the show becomes the craziest. It's post the cello
It
episode.
starts to
But that's also what it
shift.
Yeah, because it becomes like a mixture of a fever dream mixed with like what in the fuck are they doing at this point? Like what's happening?
Yeah.
Like it almost changes genres
Oh, for sure.
because it becomes like a sci-fi traveling like time travel show.
Yeah, it was delving with time and space and like new age technology. While like this was like kind of consistent, if you could call that consistent, but it's
Cloning
like
synthetic robots and yeah, this is when it was going science fiction. I would say this is the turning point. Is after post the cello episode, it becomes more science fiction.
so yeah. So
because the last 2
and
episodes are wild.
by the end of episode 3, they have turns out the Chinese kid, I can't remember his name at all. Like Poindexter
it
was
doesn't stay on the website.
happened to be there at the big famous person world leader party and recorded it as the music video.
Yeah.
So it wraps up super nice for them, I guess.
Yeah, so he's like, "Don't worry, I got it all on tape," and they're all like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "What the fuck? How'd you get in? How'd you get in without being told to start cleaning floors?"
Yeah.
Like everybody else did.
Don't know.
Like,
The James Avery character didn't even like mind it. They're like, okay, now clean up this mess. After like everyone left, they're like, tell these 13-year-old kids like, hey, clean up this mess. I got checks.
Yeah,
Yo,
you get
imagine-
paid, which was nice. I guess they get paid.
Corey, have you ever done a show or concert where after the concert's done, they said, "Oh, just so you know, you've performed. Clean up the mess here." After you've done your
Did
performance.
Momo? Oh wait, I see what you're saying. No.
Okay.
No. All right.
Well,
That's okay.
That's
That's
pretty.
what happened here.
Yep. And
Well,
this one, imagine it's like they told Paramore after like a concert at like over at like a fucking giant arena. They're like, "Hey man, thanks for playing, but y'all got to clean up."
You're like, yeah.
Haley Williams and like bandmates the fucking broom and say, "Get cleaning."
Yeah.
Get like the little garbage can grabsters and like the bag.
The hand pictures to
Yeah.
throwing it out. It's what they do after the shows. They have to clean up the entire stadium after their shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they
like-
paid them for the full 2 hours, they mean it.
True. They're gonna make them work for it.
They're gonna make it. Yeah. See, that's why they're so rich. But
That's why they're rich.
that moves on to the episode 4, titled "Old School,"
Oh boy.
where they have to, or the premise is that the school has a contest, I think, or a tournament, whatever.
Yes.
Another
For
competition.
I think it was Adidas or Badidas.
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 Badidas, yes, it was Badidas
With deep pity.
with D Pity, yeah, and that you needed to
think
make
the
it
goal-
old school. It had an old school theme.
I think the goal was to be old school.
Yeah.
To be old school, and and I guess like Horace's friends, because Horace had like two backup friends. They're like
I think they were both supposed to be Korean.
yeah, which Their names are actually Smalls and Mike Fresh. That's their names.
Mike Fresh is played by Kel Thompson, just so you know, from Keenan and Kel.
Anyways,
I found that
I
out
think
on
the goal
Wikipedia.
is that
Sorry, Kel Mitchell. Sorry, I don't know why I thought it
Kel
was Kel
Thompson.
Thomas.
But the goal is that if they win a contest of being old school, they win a music video with Baditas and Deep Pity.
Yes.
So obviously the Jammies are like, this is it. We're gonna get a music video. We're gonna sign to Deep Pity.
And they figured it took it was more than they could chew, and that they're like, oh, we can't do this, and they were trying to like watch it on their TV in their clubhouse. Yeah. Which I don't know where the electricity comes from. But anyways,
fucking flat screen up there.
Yeah. Regardless, they asked their mall cop / janitor friend Clondell what old school is, and he has this studio apartment.
They just go to his house.
Yeah, they just go to his house. He has like a tank top, and like shorts on, kind of in a recliner. Well, he has like a bed like right next to him, like a kitchen like 2 feet around from him, and like the room where I think the bedroom is like a whole record collection.
Yeah, you can tell this man put no effort in his life into cleaning up his apartment or his room or anything, or his image, and entirely put all of his money into his record collection.
And he made the kids listen to jazz, and everyone's like, "This is fucking nasty." And he's like, "Jazz is not that bad.
Don't you discount jazz?"
Yeah. And so then they stole a record from him, and then the Asian kid, I forgot his name because they never really mention his name ever. He, with technology located where the old school is on a record player, and then geolocated where the spot is, and someone just they showed up to the place and then just whipped the disc since it had such a high velocity, they whipped it and then it spinned to transport time back to the old school. Back in 1984, I think that's what they said, because it was on the billboard.
Yeah, but old school was literally an old school.
Old school, yeah, and it had a little sign just in case you didn't know. It said old school.
Said old school.
Yeah, not like Pitted Olive University or something like that. It was just old school.
Yep, and they had to speak with the ghosts of old school's past.
Yeah,
to learn hip hop.
Oh, I forgot the Smalls and Mike Fresh got someone named Kane.
Oh yeah, like Candy Cane or something like that.
Yeah, and how he was back from that date, and they're using him as an ace in the hole for this tournament for Baditas.
Yeah.
And so then they find fucking Flav in there.
Crazy Praise.
With Crazy Praise.
I can't remember the rest of them though.
And another person, which probably are references to this record. It said like, I forgot the record. It wasn't like Small Grooves, Smooth Grooves.
I remember it said hip hop on the back.
Oh yeah, it's just hip hop. Just in case you wanted to know what it was about.
I can't remember what the group was called though.
And so they were just like, "What the fuck you doing in here?" And they're like, "I don't know. I want to learn hip hop or some shit." And they're like, get out of here. And then they mentioned Kane. And they're like, he lip syncs all of his stuff. We'll help you out because out of vengeance and pity.
Yeah.
And so then, or actually more vengeance. It's not really that. Anyways.
And it's funny. This was all I remembered it, but this was all mostly new to me when I was watching it last week because I was so goddamn out of it. For the first time I watched it, I couldn't remember any of this stuff.
Because you're already gone by like episode 2 or 3. You were just already like,
this stuff was wild, dude.
Yeah, it was just I just remember vagrant memories. I still only remember vagrant memories. Even after like just watching it, I was like, what did we just what happened?
What was that?
Um,
Who?
and so they learn hip hop. Um, and Seven does the worm like in place. Like he doesn't move left to right doing the worm. He just does the worm just this.
Like a fish.
And they were ready. They were ready for this contest of just two people of Smalls and Mike, and then the Jammies.
Mm-hmm.
There was no one else, and that was it. And so then, the big day, Mike and Smalls doing their thing with Kane. But oh, what do you know? They messed up the records, and Kane was actually lip syncing the whole time, and then they threw shit at him. And then the principal cried. I don't know for what reason. I forgot. And then the Jammies came on. Seven did the worm in place, which killed me. That was the other thing that fucking killed me because it was just oh no, he was singing and also doing the worm, and then
Not moving.
and not moving.
You can't.
Like,
that's lip syncing if I've ever seen it. You can't move like
Yeah,
that and
that's-
not sing perfectly.
You could never do the worm and not move across the floor.
Yeah,
That's
you would get like a.
impossible.
Oh
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so
Well, he
then-
does do a lot of so it all matches in, you know.
You know, it all
But that-
fits.
But imagine slamming your whole chest and stomach and everything onto the floor while trying to sing, and see how good you are at hitting a note.
Give me a song.
Um,
Give me a song.
Hit Me Baby One More Time by Britney Spears.
Oh baby, I have to like hit. I'll just sing the hit me baby one more time.
Yeah.
Alright,
Yeah.
Here we go. I gotta do it loud enough so that y'all can hear it.
yeah, we.
This is gonna be a show and tell.
That's right.
So for all the audio listeners, Corey's getting out of his chair. He's moved it. He's now moving his camera down a little bit to the floor. Corey is going to attempt doing the worm while singing. He's got to move the couch first.
Let's sing "Hit Me, Baby" one more time. Oh, he's doing
Okay,
it.
so I can do it.
Yep,
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
doing it. He's doing the
Hit
worm.
me baby one more time.
Ah, beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Round
That
of
was so
applause,
nice.
everybody, to Corey.
Aw.
Everybody needs to give him
Clap
a
in
round
chat,
of
and then
applause in the chat.
If you're listening on a podcast, just clap randomly.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
won't
Just clap,
understand.
clap in your car. It's all good.
Thank you.
It's
No
all
one's
good.
gonna judge.
Thank you.
Or your local clapping area.
Or yeah, whatever makes you feel
but-
good.
But you know, just that with what Corey did, won the commercial contest to Adidas,
Yeah.
and it wasn't even like they recorded new stuff. They just took clips from like the tournament or the contest that just put them in there, and it was just like Adidas. But then also they went back to the old school. They somehow like
Yeah.
teleported again to and like they have television, but in current time, like the ghost can see the television that's showing the new Adidas commercial.
They brought a TV with them.
They brought a TV
the
with,
past.
but it was like an old. It was like a CRT. It was like
Oh,
an
it's a
old ass-
CRT.
It was like yeah, it was like a fucking old ass TV with a fucking cart, and so somehow that works. And then they're like, "We did it," and they're like, "You sure did," and then just fucking like
Yeah.
credits roll, and then that's it.
I bet I went Baba Booey, and then the episode was over.
Baba Booey.
But lucky enough, that was not the finale.
No.
That was just
What? That's not the finale. Why?
because there's a fifth one called Will the
Why?
Dollar.
Ooga, ooga.
The title for this one is "Will the Real Dollar Please Stand Up," which is when Dollar was horny. That's just
Yes!
that was the whole episode.
Extremely.
The whole episode is just Dala being like, "Listen, I'm gonna get this pussy," and it's
Yeah,
Lulu's cousin,
Lala.
I think.
Lala. It's Lala's cousin, and he's like
Yeah.
thirsty over Lala's cousin, and like, this was like the horniest episode of any children's programming I've ever watched.
It's very
For sure.
It was right up there.
Yeah.
So he's like thirsty as fuck. He's like, "Listen, I'm gonna go get this pussy. I'm not gonna be hanging out with any of you guys." So
He needed it.
he bails on the Jammies for all their practices and rehearsals for yet again another competition. Wow, I'm seeing a lot of repetition here.
Yeah.
So he's off with the girl.
Yeah.
But then he's like, man, I don't want to bail on the homies, but I do want to spend time with the girl. But then also I think there's like a basketball game that he's got to go to
Well,
at the same time as the competition.
He tries out for basketball to impress Lala's cousin because
Yeah.
Lala's cousin likes
that's what it
b-ball
was.
players. So he's like,
Got
do
it.
I hang out with the Jammies or do I play basketball to impress a lady? And obviously he's like, yeah, I'll hang out. I want to hang out with the lady.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he picks the girl over his friends, and then he actually makes it onto the basketball team. But then he goes to the Asian stereotype scientist character, and he builds him a cloned robot, a synthetic robot of Dala, like
Yeah.
a perfect cut of what he looks like, and like it can change his voice and everything like that. And the robot can pretty much do everything Dala can do. But then the robot starts to intercut into Dala's real life and starts to kind of replace him.
Yeah.
And then he like goes to his house and he like takes him and throws him into fucking outer space, and he lands in the North Pole.
Oh yeah, this picture
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That picture. Yeah.
That's taken from the final episode where he's launched into space towards the North Pole. And he lands out there. He gets almost mauled by the Coca-Cola bear.
Yep.
The Coca-Cola polar bear.
Yeah.
But then like the Asian kid, the scientist Asian kid, like has like a rocket sled, like
Yeah.
It's the Christmas
snowmobile,
episode.
Just because
No.
you know.
and it flies.
Yeah, it
And,
flies.
like he like saves Dala from about to falling off a cliff and getting mauled by this bear.
Yeah.
And he saves him.
Yeah.
And they go back. He gets yeeted twice in the episode. He gets yeeted by the robot twice in
Yeah.
one episode.
Yeah.
I think that was the second time that had happened, that he went to the North Pole. The first time, I don't remember where he went.
Just, you know,
Oh, he
someone
just gets yeeted.
he just gets cheated, and then it just cuts to like a different like scene.
Yeah.
Um,
So I don't know why he gets yeeted one more time, and then they decide to change it to where he gets yeeted, and we get to see where he gets yeeted too.
Yeah.
But so then essentially he gets back and he finds out that he's still gonna go forward with the basketball game for Lulu's, because I can't
Lala.
remember her name. What is it?
Lola.
Lala.
Lala's cousin. And then it comes to find out he blows the basketball game because he comes back during like the performance of the competition, and
That was in the mall.
Yeah, it was at the mall. And then the Asian kid's like, "Whoa, what are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be at the basketball game?" And he's like, "Yeah, but I messed it up. I scored 10 points in the other team's basket, and then the principal kicked me off the team and then gave me detention." Which, if I've never known a kid to get detention for scoring baskets in the wrong basket during a basketball game when it's an extracurricular activity. Why would you get detention for that?
Because the principal was bad.
And then wasn't like the robot now dating Lala's cousin?
Yes.
Yes.
So
And then
she decided not to even go to the basketball game and decided to show up actually to support her cousin at the performance. But she thought that was the real Dala.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's Robo Dala.
It's Nala.
So he confronts the robot Dala, but then don't worry, robot Dala was like, "Hey, I made robot copies of all of you motherfuckers." So then he brings out the robot versions of all the other Jammies,
yeah.
and then they have a fucking competition, a standoff, singing and dancing competition, robots versus the humans. Who's gonna win it? It was like the Terminator, Judgment Day. But fucking the Jammies.
And of course the whole thing was like they could do better, or like the robots could do better than the humans and everything.
Yep.
Also the crowd wasn't like phased by this. They weren't phased by like how there's two identical people or two groups of identical people just dancing,
Yeah,
having a contest with each
Yep.
other.
they didn't
Um,
care.
and
They're
so
like, oh, this is normal.
yeah, this is fine. Well, I mean, it's only like 2 people copied and paste like, throughout the
Oh.
whole area. So
The frame rate of like crowd audiences like in the Jammies is really funny. Corey pointed that out during the opening intro.
Yeah, it's like
Tell
2
us a
frames
little
a
bit about
second.
it.
It's like they're like filmed in sixes, or they're like animated in sixes. It's like you're looking at the camera move, but the car's like just really you can see the frames.
It's super
So
jank.
bad.
so
And
then,
that's very consistent throughout the whole series.
oh, for sure.
Well, we forgot they blow up the mall too.
Oh,
yeah,
my
they blow,
god!
Yeah, they blow up the
Anyway,
robots
there.
because
Yeah.
I have an image.
they-
I'm putting it up. They blow up the fucking mall.
Is it
they
there
were-
on screen?
Yeah, it's on screen. They win the competition.
that's real.
Yeah.
That happens. The robots, I think, are defeated, but when they're defeated, they literally blow up the mall.
It's
it's kind of
because
wild.
they like freestyle and the robots can't compute freestyling. So they like let me like I'm a robot, let me try freestyling and then just break all their joints and crash. And then the mall
Yeah,
blows
and
up. But they win,
Uh,
so it's cool. It's all good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all good.
And then it just cuts. I think it just was like they were back at their school having lunch or something, and they're like, "Wow, that was kind of fucked up." And then that was it.
Yeah, they're
That
like
was the
back
end.
at school and then they're like, let's dance on the school tables.
Yeah, they danced with the
And then that was the last episode that was ever made of the Jammies.
and
Oh.
that was the final piece.
We didn't even talk about the fucking janitor, dude, or the mall cop.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, in episode 1?
one, yeah.
Episode 1 and 4.
Well, we
'cause
did
he
talk
was in-
about him.
And
Oh,
his
where they
janky
went to his house?
Yeah, his janky
Yeah.
house.
funny enough,
But
we didn't know.
episode 1, the picture of Seven where he's really sweaty is
Yeah.
when the mall cop was like, "Listen, boy, I'm gonna have sex with you, but I want you to tell me who's living in this mall." And he like throws out a plate of food in front of him, and he gets all sweaty because he's like, "Oh fuck,
Yeah.
I love food."
And he
And
answers Motor City J was squatting in the mall with his mom.
Right.
Yeah, Motor
Yeah.
City J was squatting in the mall, so yeah. And then they squat at an amusement park.
Yeah, they did. They then squatted
Yeah,
at an
yeah.
amusement park.
Yeah,
And that's when
amusement
Momo
park.
was like, guys, I think he's homeless.
Boy, who
Yeah.
would have guessed?
It would
I
have
thought
thunk
he
it.
just lived at the mall. It's like, are you guys dumb? Yeah.
And then with all that, I
So-
think there's potential for season 2
Yeah.
in Canada.
Yeah, it
We don't
says
know
on
when-
the Wikipedia, it says season 2, Canada. I don't know why.
Maybe it's a Canadian group. Like,
Maybe,
it's no
I-
longer the Jammies we know. It's a Canadian group of kids.
This is so funny. Holy shit. Okay, so as I brought up that Kel Mitchell was in Jammies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he plays as Mike Pratt.
Yeah.
I'm looking up the time of when this show was created, and he doesn't even have it on his Wikipedia as a character he played. He like discredits this entire show.
I would too.
Rip and fucking rip. Kel Mitchell just like was like, yeah, I was like Ed and Goodburger, but I'm not gonna
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put myself down to Jamie.
No.
No, it's just it's like
That's really good.
He's a pretty good record. I don't think he needs the Jammies to boost his credibility.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But since
He'll have too much credit.
Welcome to
You have to-
Welcome
yeah, like,
to
everyone would want
Jammies, home of the good
Everyone-
Jammies.
may,
Almost
may take your
Jamie.
ow ow.
Can I take a ow ow?
Can I take you? Ow, ow, ow. Ow, ow.
Though since we are all caught up to speed and we all kind of know what's good about the Jammies
Yeah.
as a whole in all the episodes, I have a theory. I have a fan
I
theory
can't wait. I'm really excited.
of what's going on. So, I believe the Jammies is deeper than what people think. You know, you look at this and you're like, oh, it's a masterpiece of a kids show trying to show, um, you know, diversity, unity, the other
Do it
adjective
together.
they're trying to mention.
Do
Yeah,
it
together,
together.
doing it together. But have you ever noticed that there's no one in this school? That there's only like 2 or 3 people among the Jammies that actually exist in this plane. What I'm getting at is, I believe the Jammies is the 7 deadly sins, and that the the episodes talk about the 9 rings of hell. So, why would I think this way, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think?
Why would you think this way?
Bring us into the mind of
Yeah. Show us your version of the dramatic comedy.
So of course, you know, this does already not add up. You know, there's seven deadly sins, 9 rings of hell.
Yeah.
But there's only 5 people in the main cast, right? You know, you got Dala, Alvis, Momo, Lala, and Seven.
Yeah.
See, 7. That's the first clue.
Ooh.
7 is mentioning how it's the 7 deadly sins. But then 7 is like the entryway. It's the gateway. That's what got me thinking. This goes way deeper than what we already thought. So when I was thinking, 7 is gluttony, which is one of the 7 deadly sins, right? He just has the desire to consume more than which one requires. So he keeps on eating and eating, just wanting all this food. And so then I'm just like, there's no way that this was just a coincidence. So I had to deeper. So for everyone to know, 7 deadly sins, you got pride, envy, gluttony, lust, anger, greed, and sloth. And, you know, as we go down through the list, you know, you got Dala, who's pride, who thought he in episode 2 with 310 he accesses just one's beliefs. Or actually no, that was Novelist. Sorry, that's a little bit of a Freudian slip. Novelist is the excessive beliefs, knowing that he's confident in himself, but then he came to terms and came through into being pride. You got envy, who is Lala, who always feels like, or actually, her Lala's lust being always how she's always so pretty or prettier than Momo or whoever is the competitor, along with envy, who was Motor City J, who just didn't show up ever since, along with anger, who was Horace, you know, another character that only showed up once a time again. And then you had Clondell as Sloth. So all these characters, and all this is what Dala and Novelist was trying to tell you, is that all of them are actually trying to show the concept of what humanity is trying to struggle through.
What about greed?
Greed, and so for every episode,
Okay.
I'm just. I didn't think about that one. Greed is
I think it's dollar. Right?
The principal.
Yeah, Dala.
It's the principal.
Oh, the
Or
principal.
the or, yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true.
'cause he's-
Cranberry.
And Dala is actually, since he is a self-insert, he's a main character. He's trying to go through and trying to escape these detriments of mankind.
Mhm.
And then what made me thought, because I thought the episodes were actually them in purgatory, and this is how they each die, because each different character has like a death sentence and like what happened there, and that makes sense with how maybe with each level of hell, that's like what they were, that's how they ended up. And just how, you know, when we go to each circle, you know, you got limbo, which
Yeah.
is the first episode, right? You know, it's you're just wondering, like, is this real? You know, does this actually exist as a show? So this is actually not more for the characters but for the viewer. Like, how is this happening? Second circle, lust. It's 310, right? So I don't know where to put that one. I think that's actually after. That's 3. But gluttony is always the third circle. That's the main around. Well, the fourth circle is greed. And how I'm kind of just spitballing at this point. This is a mosh pod. This is a work in progress. This is a work in progress of a fan theory. But greed, gluttony, and anger are all kind of just like all encompassing circles. I don't know if this is actually how the circles of hell work, but anyways, we were just thinking that the fifth circle. Actually, wait, the fifth circle leads to anger because when you finish the series, when you finish this this show, you just leave angry. You leave to a point of just unnecessary rage and wrath, and wanting to just just be able to fucking just exert yourself as a person, and just being able to just not want to deal with what you just seen for your very eyes for an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And so it's the facts are there. I'm just getting closer. I just feel like there should be a season 2, because I think that's what Dawn, the novelist, was thinking, is that it's just they have a theme. They have 7 illnesses. They have a purgatory. They have the nine circles of hell. That's why there's only 5, because they wanted to leave you as anger, and then the rest, that's what they were going to try to do in the later shows, in the 12 episodes.
Yeah.
And so, I think that's as much as I can got as far as my fan theories right now.
It's very solid. It's very solid.
I would
Thank you.
say that's a pretty good fan theory. I would believe it.
I think
Like,
it's just.
yeah.
I think it's a low effort shit show.
That could be also
But
true.
no,
it's
not.
it's just a theory, a TV show theory.
a Netflix
It's like-
theory.
Theory, yeah, Netflix. They even took it off of Netflix too.
Yeah, it's not on Netflix anymore. It's on Tubi now. It's on Pluto
It's on-
TV,
Make sure
Tubi,
it's on Tubi and
Tubi,
YouTube.
yeah.
and
I
YouTube,
guess that's
and
know-
Amazon television. I guess and
Yeah.
on Fire Stick, according to their Facebook page. Like their Facebook
Ah.
page says it's like on like several things, like like Roku's and everything. I'm like, well,
Oh, yeah, I
you
saw
could
that, I
use
saw
like the apps through like Fire Sticks and Roku's and stuff.
Just go to YouTube.
And just
good,
go
yeah.
on YouTube, watch all 5 episodes. You could get it done in like what? It only took us like an hour,
It's
and
an hour
a
and
half
20
to
minutes.
watch. Yeah, it was an hour and 20 minutes to watch. So it's like the length of a one bad movie,
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
but it's 5.
Yeah. It's
So-
it's just like though, yeah, because I was gonna ask, since uncovering this truth and to lighten the mood, do y'all want to see who does the longest yeah boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So who should start?
Let me get a timer out. I'm gonna get a timer
I was
out.
gonna do the same thing. Yeah.
Okay. I also got a timer on me. So, yeah, I know it's shock to the system. It's something that you wouldn't really think with the Jammies, is how.
I think what we
it
should
relates-
do is all go at the same time,
Oh, okay. Oh, that works.
and
Yeah.
we can probably
Yeah,
time
yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
That way, we're not doing
Yeah.
3 individual yeah boys.
Now,
points.
do you start the clock on the boy or the yeah?
It's the longest yeah boy, so you have to start on yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay. I'm
So
ready
should we-
whenever you guys are.
I'm ready.
Okay.
yeah.
Ryan.
Ryan, give us a
Okay.
countdown and we'll breathe in.
All right. We'll do that then. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm done. I got it to 30 seconds.
30, yeah, 33.
Oh, 3. Okay.
Sorry, I got well, mine says 31.83, but
Oh,
I'm
we
gonna
got
say
30.
I didn't click it right away after I stopped, so I'm gonna say 30.
Damn. I gotta train. I feel like I gotta train my yeah boy. I could get better than that.
Yeah, boy.
I could get better than that.
Yeah, for sure. And that's pretty much. I guess just to lay in the mood, but I think I think what would be nice to know is what's our thoughts? Like, we've talked about it, we've had theories, boyed. What's
We did it all.
what's your? We did it all. So I feel like I guess to close it up.
Yeah.
I don't know how long the show goes for. To close it up.
Yeah, we're
what's
about
your-
to. Yeah, it's about wrap. Yeah, we're about.
Yeah,
we're about there at the end.
we'll say like, what's everyone's thoughts, feelings, concerns, comments, questions? There's certainly a lot. Well, there's no more questions considering the theory, but
Yeah.
any additional questions?
Well, apparently, I guess one other little thing to add as a caveat is that back in 2017 on the Jammies official Facebook page, it
Yeah.
said that there was they did stuff with Hot Topic, where you
Yeah.
could buy the Jammies merch through Hot Topic. Imagine that.
Um,
Hot Topic carried the Jammies merch. But not anymore. It doesn't anymore.
Shit.
But I want to let y'all know, I did find that there is a shop on their Facebook page, and I asked if one of their shirts was available to purchase. They have yet to come back to me, though. So I wrote, yo, I'm interested in this item. And I sent them a shirt that I wanted. Because I really want this Jammy shirt, and I want to see if they'll take my money.
I hope they can get you that shirt.
Yeah, I mean, they posted about it being on Tubi, so they have to know that people are going to find and discover this masterpiece, and they're
Yeah,
going to
of
watch
course.
it, and they're going to want the merch.
Absolutely.
I want that sweet Jammies merch.
Even with this podcast, like it's just gonna go up from there. It's the market value is just gonna be skyrocketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jammies demand merch.
The Jabbies.
Demand.
I think
Demand
my
merch.
final
Demand-
thoughts are I'm not gonna watch this show again sober.
Mm.
I've experienced it sober, and next time I watch it again, I have to get drunk.
Yeah, I definitely want to watch this, like, completely destroyed. And
Mhm.
I just don't want to experience this with like my normal brain, because watching it with my normal brain made me go crazy. And I
Yeah.
feel like I lost a bit of my soul along the way. I lost
Yeah.
myself along the way at one point. I kind of forgot I was watching the Jammies, and I was like clicking around on my computer, like doing other things. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be watching this show, because it was just kind of on, and I like drifted. And so like, I literally forgot that I was watching this show after the cello episode, and I started like doing other things. So yeah, to say the least, this show fucking hurts my feelings when I'm sober. But I feel like if I'm like drunk or high or something, I will be having a really good time. I would have a much better time.
Yeah.
For sure.
And also, I have to watch it
with.
with friends. I don't want to watch it with
Yeah.
any other.
No.
Oh
by
no,
myself.
watching it just like drinking. Watching it by yourself is just kind of sad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
I need to watch it with the homies, with
With
my
the
jammies,
With my
I
jam.
wanna-
Jam-
with
Jammies.
my jammies,
Jammies.
which is like you
Um,
guys.
What about you, Mitch?
Yeah. I felt like even when you are sober, you still feel drunk after watching it.
Yeah.
It just like the fact that you feel like you took a couple hits of like a joint, or like had like a couple beers or a couple drinks, or both. It feels like you probably crossfaded, and like this is what like your
The show
mind
drains you.
goes to when that's happening. I watched this show 4 times already.
Yep.
Just front to back. And I feel like this is just a home staple. Something to just once and again always come back to, and just remember that this fever dream of a show just always exists. Always just no matter how it comes up in my life, it still shows, it's still there ready for me to watch.
I view it like it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, for sure.
Even
It's-
if you've seen it,
It's
it's like watching it for the first time all over again every time.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
the
it's like
jam that keeps on
Sounds really
jamming.
it's the jam to my peanut butter, and boy howdy is that a fuck sandwich.
It's all about the jammies we made along the way.
Yeah.
All about the jam.
He's
Oh,
not
hey.
a. He's not a. Oh, what's the kid's name? He's not a Horace. He's my homie.
He's not a horse.
You know who'd do anything for a horse?
Yeah.
Are you my horse?
I think it's that time of the week, guys, where well, that time of the bye week,
Is it
where
the
we
week?
ask the audience for a suggestion for the next
Oh,
week's
yeah.
show. So anyone watching right now, you can suggest what we should have the topic of our next show be. It really, at this point, can be anything. We've
It can-
kind of
it-
really expanded the "Oh Baby a Triple" scene
Yeah.
to other things. So we're gonna ask our audience, we'll ask the friends we made along the way as well, what they think our next topic should be.
Yeah.
So,
Could be serious, could be funny, joke, bit,
Animaniacs.
whatever. Animaniacs.
There's one. Yeah, the
That-
new
that's-
HBO. There's a new season.
That's not bad.
We'll consider
could
it. We'll
like-
talk about it. We'll discuss
We'll discuss with the console or
Discuss.
the council.
with
I
the
like
council.
I like the Animaniac.
They're funny.
I think
That's
that
pretty
like that would
good.
bring a nice topic, be like bring in like the resurgence or reboots of like
Yeah.
old, like '90s cartoons,
Oh,
putting back
I
into.
haven't even seen the Hulu reboot
Actually,
of
same. I haven't seen it
Animaniacs.
either.
Well, it's this thing, like like get into that, maybe like Rocco's Modern Life.
I saw the
Right,
Rocco's and the Invader Zim one too. That was pretty
Oh,
good.
that's what the other one was. Yeah,
Yeah. Rocco's and Invader Zim was really good.
yeah. So I think that would be a dope topic. So we're just still kind of Animaniacs.
It's
so
fine.
I
We'll-
don't.
We'll look at the chat and we'll look at what our friends suggest as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for watching and for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Special thanks
Thank
to
you.
our guest this week, Mitch. Thank you so much.
I don't know where to put my
yeah,
hands.
this way. You're there.
This way. Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Mitch,
Yeah.
for coming. Here,
you.
hug.
Is
Give
it?
Give me a hug.
Oh
Group hug.
wait, I thought
Group
I
hug.
think
Group
it like Ryan over here
Group
and
hug.
like
I'm getting in on this.
There we
yeah.
go.
there.
got
Oh,
the
that's
both
that's
of you.
nice. That's natural.
Yeah.
Natural
yes,
hug.
it's natural.
It's so funny. It's like I have like a wicked delay on the thing, so I can't see anything.
No, yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. Make
Thank
sure you give us a follow here on Twitch, or give us what is it? A subscribe is when you pay a follow. Is when you just follow.
Thank you, Mark. I saw that you did gift Corey a sub to
Yeah.
Spicy Boys.
Thanks
Thank you,
for
Mark.
that.
Thank you,
for
Mark
that.
Cameron.
Appreciate it. Definitely big thanks to our audience for tuning in and watching us. And remember, maybe the friends were the Jammies you made along the way.
Hey, night everybody.
Good night, everybody. Bye.
Everybody, yeah, boy.